Hey guys, welcome to my channel. It is a new year, a new chance to start over here on YouTube. So, without further ado, I'm going to kick off the year with my Best in Beauty for 2016. Oh my god. I feel like 2016 just flew by. I feel like Christmas came out of nowhere. Halloween didn't feel like Halloween. I felt like 2016 just felt off. And I know everyone's calling it the worst year ever, but whatever. Beyond that, let's just jump into everything. I've got one thing for each category. Some things have two. I couldn't resist. Some of them are oldies. Some of these are relatively new to my collection. So let's see what I felt were my top products this past year. So first off, my favorite primer this year was this. This is the Hourglass Mineral Veil Primer. I love this. It always gives me a perfect base to apply my foundation with, and it's amazing. I mean, I don't know if you guys can really tell, I have used a significant chunk of this. I did have another one that almost tied with this, and I realized I reached for this like every day for the past 3 months straight. I very rarely switched it up, so this guy was really close. My runner-up for it was the NYX Honey Do Me Up Serum Primer, which I love that one as well. Moving on to foundation, I have two. This is one where I really couldn't pick between the two because one's newer in my no, what am I saying? Neither of them are new in my collection. I mean, I reached for both of these equally. I think they're both great foundations. The first one is the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea foundation, which is what I'm wearing today. Mine's in the shade Fair Neutral. There is now a lighter shade than this, so if you are really pale, which, to be honest, I probably need to get that lighter shade because this one is a little dark on my neck. So I probably will be grabbing the porcelain shade soon, but I do love this. I think it gives a beautiful, flawless finish to your skin, and it gives kind of this glowy, dewy, I don't even know what to describe it as. My vocabulary today is just not amazing. The other foundation was this guy, and I feel like nobody on YouTube ever talks about this foundation, but this is hands down one of my favorites. I got this back in January or February of this year, and I tried it a whole bunch of times since then. It's just amazing. It's a very, very lightweight foundation, but I feel like sometimes it gives me better coverage than the Rainforest one. And this is the, I didn't even say what this is. This is the Juice Beauty Phyto-Pigments Flawless Serum Foundation. I will say one thing, though, that is an issue with both of these, although maybe not so much with the Tarte one anymore. They don't have a very large shade range. I think the Juice Beauty one only has 8 or 9 shades, I believe. I'm not sure. I'm wearing the second shade, which is number 5 Buff. The first one, which is Fair, I believe, or Nude or something like that. The very light one, that's 01, is ridiculously pale. So if you're very fair, I would grab that one. But these two foundations, I switched them out all year long. They've just been my go-to guys. I mean, what else can I say? My go-to concealer, and I feel like this is going to surprise some people because it is not the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. Everyone and their mother's been freaking out about it, and I just got mine at the beginning of December. But this guy, I went through 2 of these this year, so I feel like he had to go with my favorites. This is the Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer. I have mine in the shade Fair Neutral. It is my concealer today. I just feel like it works really well for both highlighting, it gives you good coverage, and it doesn't crease a lot on me. It feels really nice. I feel like ever since I started using that, it was really hard for me to switch and try out anything else. So this guy will always forever hold a very special place in my heart. Okay. So my favorite face powder was this guy. This is the Maybelline Fit Me Set and Smooth. I have mine in the shade 120 Classic Ivory. I did not use it today, but as you can see, the pan is already starting to come through on here. I'm getting really close to hitting pan on here. I love using this to set especially like BB creams, tinted moistures, all that kind of stuff. That's what I love this guy for. I think if you haven't found a powder you love, the drugstore has some really great ones. I haven't really found a high-end one that I'm in love with yet, but to be honest, I haven't really bothered to explore it since I have this one that I love so much. So that's a goal for me in 2017, is to kind of try out some more face powders, because that's not really my, like, my hair. That's not really what I'm looking for. It's not something that I actively seek, you know? My favorite setting powder this year was this guy. This is the Kat Von D Lock-It Setting Powder in the translucent shade. I actually already have a backup of this. I never found a powder that I liked to bake with until I found this. I did bake today because my under eyes are like, hello. But I also love using this to set my whole face, especially when using the foundations that I mentioned as my favorite, since they're serums. It kind of helps they're not exactly transfer proof, or they don't set very nicely, so I love going in with this on top of all of that to just set it and get it to go. So I felt like I also had to mention this, not because it's a setting powder or a highlight, but just because whenever I do bake my under eyes, this is what I use to dust off my bake, and this is the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powder in the shade Ethereal Light, which is just the white, and I just love how it brightens everything, gives it that reflective surface to work with. It is gorgeous for fair skin. If you're darker, I would suggest trying Radiant Light or Dim Light. I don't remember what it is called, but there is like a more bronzy color which would look beautiful to bake underneath your under eye, to dust off your bake. I just feel like Hourglass's powders just knock it out of the park all the time. I love them so much. Let's continue with face products and then we'll move on to eyes. So my favorite contour product this year, which will probably not come as a surprise if you watched any of my videos, is this. This is the Too Faced Cocoa Contour Kit in the shade Light to Medium. There is now a tan to deep, so if you are darker skinned, I would grab it. This has been my contour shade for the whole year. It is my contour shade today. I love this shade, and I really love the light cocoa shades. So these two, to be honest, I haven't really gotten a lot of use out of these, but these two, this guy's got a serious dent in him going on. My favorite thing in the world. I don't really own any other contour kits that I love. I have some individual powders that I use, but as for in general, this is my go-to guy, my ride or die version, basically. Moving on to bronzers, I feel like a lot of people said the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer, which I did love that guy. I think it's fantastic. It is very nice. It's a good drugstore one, but this is just the guy that I loved more. This is the Makeup Forever Pro Bronze Fusion, and this is in the shade 15i. It is my bronzer today. I just feel like basically half of this stuff is already on my face, with a few exceptions. But I do love the formula of these Makeup Forever Pro Bronze Fusions. They are fantastic. They've got 4 or 5 shades, I think. I know my location only carries 4 of them for Sephora, but I believe there are 5 in total. But this stuff, I just love the finish it gives on my fair skin, especially since I have a really hard time finding bronzers that aren't too orange. And this is really that nice warm tan, but it's not orange, if you know what I mean. Like, it's my guy and I love him. But the butter bronzer was a very close second, I swear. My favorite blush this year was the Clinique Cheek Pop in Nude Pop, which is my blush today. I just think it's that beautiful peachy nude kind of color that a lot of fair to medium skins will be able to pull off really nicely. I've had this guy for ages. I just love it. Next, I have my favorite highlight, and I have 2 because one is really new to my collection and the other one I've had for about a year and a half now, and I just love it. That one that I've had for a year and a half is this guy. This is the Josie Maran Argan Enlightenment Illuminizing Veil. This is fantastic if you're someone who doesn't want a very foiled, very glittery glow. It just kind of really helps to accentuate the high points of your face. It's what's on the tip of my nose, my chin, and my forehead today. It's just such a very pretty light white gold. It's very subtle, but it still shows, and I just love it. Like, look at my nose. Look at that little highlight on my nose. He's so cute. By comparison, my favorite highlighter, which is on my cheekbones today, is the Laura Mercier. Okay, this is such a long name. The Laura Mercier Matte Radiance Baked Powder in the shade Highlight 01. This is gorgeous for fair skin or lighter colored skin. I will say if you're tan skin, probably not so much. I would check out the gold version of this. But this guy, since I bought it during the Rouge sale in November, has been like a day-to-day staple for me. My favorite primer this year was the Urban Decay Primer Potion in Enigma. I just feel like I really loved this guy. I'm really starting to run low on it. So, I mean, for me, it's what I prime my eyes with today. It's just such a great mattifying, and it really covers any veins, discoloration, anything you have on your eyelids. This is fantastic for that. My favorite, my eyeshadows are still buried. My favorite individual eyeshadow is from ColourPop. This is the ColourPop Super Shock Shadow in the shade Alchemy, which is a glitter sheer, right? Yes, it's a glitter sheer formula. I don't know if this is still available. I just love anytime I've got a really intense eye look and I feel like it needs something to make it pop. So rather than adding a foiled shadow, I will literally just dip my finger in this and then just dab it all over my lid, because it just gives, like this guy, I have to swatch for people to understand. It just gives that beautiful glitter finish to any eye look. It's kind of like the idea of a glitter top coat on your lips to make your lips pop, but for your eyes. I just think it's beautiful, and if they still sell it, I really need to pick up the backup because I'm running low on that. My favorite eyeliner this year was the Kat Von D Tattoo Liner in Trooper. I will say that the Bare Minerals Lash Domination liner came in a very, very close second for me, but it was just so new to my collection that I couldn't bear myself to do it. I had to go with this guy. But I do love the tattoo liner. This is obviously a mini size that came in a kit for me, but I do love it. It comes in 2 shades, Trooper and Mad Max Brown, which is a dark brown, but Trooper he will always have a place in my heart. Next, I have 2 different eyeshadow palettes, and I couldn't pick one. I really couldn't, guys. My first is this guy, the Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette. He will forever have a place in my heart. I almost put the Sweet Peach palette, but I realized that literally up until I got the other one, I reach for this almost on a daily basis. I just love this guy. I've made a serious dent here in Creme Brulee. Marzipan is one of my favorite inner corner highlights. Like, this guy is just so fantastic. I think it's a great staple eyeshadow palette for anyone starting out. Get your hands on it. You need it, and you need it now. The other one is this guy. Ignore the handprint. This is the Morphe. This is the Morphe 350 Matte Palette. So back when the 350 was out of stock, they came out with the 350 and the 350 Matte and the 350 Shimmer. I got both of them in a bundle set for I think $40 or $38, something like that. And I've really been loving this guy. It's hard to tell, like, the way my camera and my lights are set up, it's hard to see, like, this one's got a lot missing. So does, where's my brown? This guy here and this guy here have got a lot missing. Like, it's just such a great warm matte palette, but it's not entirely warm. Like, obviously these 2 rows here are very warm and these are very cool, but it's easy to mix, add shades. I feel like it's a great one to travel with because these are pretty sturdy for plastic casing. Like, I've dropped these 1,000 times and nothing ever happens. My favorite lash primer this year, because that's a thing, is the Lancome Seals Booster XL. I think that this is great. There's a ton of good ones. My other favorite was the Dior Show Maximizing Base. I don't remember what it's called exactly. I will list it down below though because I don't have one right now. I finished it and this has just been my go-to since I finished the other one. But I did love them a lot. Lash primers for me, especially on days like today where I'm not wearing false lashes, I really need a lash primer because my lashes are so short and they don't hold curls very well. I need the primer to give that extra boost, you know? So my favorite mascara, and this was a really hard one for me to figure out, you guys. I feel like I tried out a lot of great mascaras this year, and I'm sorry, my hair is just driving me nuts. Okay. I feel like I tried out a lot of really amazing mascaras this year, but this is just the one that I kept going back to, and it's a drugstore one. This is the L'Oreal Telescopic Carbon Black Mascara. Love this stuff. It is fantastic. It gives me nice built up lashes that don't look very clumpy. I just feel like the Carbon Black makes them really black, really intense, and I just love the brush for it because it is that little, it's a lot like the Benefit Roller Lash almost, where it gives you that little buildup, so it's really easy to do both your top and your lower lashes. I didn't do my lower lashes today, but you know what I mean. Whew. Moving on to brows. Okay. My favorite brow discovery of all this year was this. This is the Benefit Browvo Conditioning Primer. I got this as a 100-point perk back in like August or July, and this I've been using every time I do my brows, and I still haven't run out yet. I did already purchase the backup big one for when this guy's gone, but I love it. It's kind of like primer for your foundation, so it helps my brows stay on, it helps my brows blend out, it helps the product stick to my brows. Like, it's just amazing. My favorite brow product though to fill in my brows this year was this guy, the Anastasia Brow Wiz. I wear the shade Taupe. I really love this thing. It's really tiny, really precise. It's got the spoolie to blend it out and everything. I almost picked my dip brow just because for a period of 2 months I had no brow pencils and I was just using my dip brow, and I was like, God, I forgot how much I loved my dip brow. And then I was like laying out all my stuff in front of me going, no, I've got to go with the Brow Wiz. I love it too much to not put it in this list. So last but not least, let's move on to lips. So this is actually doing pretty good. I'm moving on along at a good pace here. So my favorite lip liner this year was the Rimmel Exaggerate lip liner in the shade Innocent, which for me is just that perfect cool toned nude. I just knocked off a whole chunk of the lip liner. Go me. It's just perfect for any time I'm wearing a nude lip, line and fill in my whole lips. It's also great for times when I'm doing nude glosses because I was filling with that and put the gloss on top. I just feel like it's a great nude for anyone with fair nude skin, fair or pale skin. It's beautiful. My favorite lip gloss of this year, and this was a really hard toss-up. I actually had 3 that I was picking between. I was like, okay, but here's the thing. If I lost which one of these, which would I be most devastated about? And it was this guy. This is actually my second one of these. This is the Lorac Alter Ego lip gloss in the shade Socialite, which is that beautiful, perfect nude that pairs well with this liner. So I just love them together. They're amazing. This was like a big combination for me all summer before I ever started my channel up. This guy, hands down, my favorite lipstick of the year. And this is the NYX Matte Lipstick in Whipped Caviar. As you can see, I've made a serious dent in him. He is running out. It is just that perfect, you know, like mauve-y, pinky color. I love this guy. This is one of the first NYX lipsticks I ever bought. This is my second tube of this that I've ever bought. And I love it a lot, especially with the Peekaboo lip liner from NYX. It's perfect pairing. And then, last but not least, liquid lipsticks. I picked my top 3 colors because I rotate my liquid lipsticks so much. It's hard for me to pick one, but I was like, okay, if I had to pick my favorite nude, pink, and a red, these are what I would pick. So my favorite nude was the Too Faced Melted Matte Liquid Lipstick in the shade Child Star. I do love the formula for these, but I do feel like the longer you wear them, the more powdery they feel. But I do love the coloring. As you can see, it also goes really well with that liner. So that is the shade Child Star, light nude pink. My favorite red is the one I'm wearing today. This is Kat Von D's Outlaw. It looks a lot more pink on camera. In person, it's a lot more red, but I do just love the color of this one. So perfect, so bright, especially at this time of year. It's very, very festive, I feel like. But yeah, Kat Von D liquid lipsticks, man, these guys stay on and they don't go anywhere. And then last but not least, my favorite pink is this guy. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills liquid lipstick in the shade Catnip. It's more of a purpley berry mauve kind of, but I do really love that. Oh, look at it, so pretty. Oh my god. I actually lost this for 3 months and I was devastated, and I lost it at work, and right when I was about to give up hope and order another one, someone at work found it in a drawer somewhere, and they were like, Kate, I found your lipstick. And I was like, thank God. But it's such a beautiful pinky berry mauve kind of color. I love it. I wear it all the time with all sorts of eyeshadow looks, especially cool toned ones. Ooh, so pretty. Okay, guys. So I feel like that is everything, right? Oh, it's not. Oh my god, I'm forgetting this. So my favorite setting product, setting spray. We'll go setting spray because I already did powder earlier. My favorite setting spray this year was this guy. This is the Boscia White Charcoal Makeup Setting Spray. This is amazing. This is my third bottle. Third bottle, about to run out. I have to pick up another one when my store gets more in stock. I love this. If you are someone with really, really oily skin, if you're pairing this with a mattifying primer and foundation and this, your makeup is not going to break down with the oil. I just think this is fantastic. You got to shake it before you use it so you mix up the charcoals, but it is amazing. I set my makeup with it today. Love it. I just think it's perfect. Okay guys, so that was all of my beauty favorites for 2016. It's so weird to just round up a whole year of makeup into, you know, like 20 products. It's weird. I can't believe it's 2017. I'm gonna be 25 this year. Can't handle that. I can't believe I'm gonna be 25. But yeah, so I will link all of this down below. I tried my best not to pick any limited edition products. Like I really wanted to include the Lorac Mega Pro 3 palette and some other stuff like that, but since they're limited edition and no longer available, I tried not to grab them. But yeah, tell me what you guys want to see from me this month. I do have a whole bunch of videos planned, but if you're dying to see something, just tell me down below. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.